So, the Calgary Flames have made a move, and it surprised a few people, as Rory Kerins has been sent down to the American Hockey League. And I'm a little surprised by that. On the one hand, I get it, because he doesn't need waivers. And if you're not going to play him, send him down. That part's obvious. It's the you're not going to play him part that I have the trouble with. And I made the joke on Saturday when the lines come out for Wednesday, and it's Lomberg up on the third line, Kuzmenko's on the fourth line, and I made the joke about that. About how Huska is looking Kuzmenko right in the eye as he's writing Lomberg on the third line. It's like, this is your fault. This is your fault. Because you should be playing here right now. And now I think Kuzmenko has responded pretty well. But everyone after that is replying, yeah, but what about Kerins out and Rooney in? What about this? What about this? What about this? And I thought, okay, fair. Rooney has been certainly not as good in the last little while and has almost been unusable. Honestly, almost is doing a lot of heavy lifting there. He's basically been unusable for a while now. And so that has not been great. It has been suboptimal, I think, for this team, that is a thing that is happening for them. But the thing is I thought they're playing a back-to-back. It's 3 games in 4 nights. Kerins, he kind of got his head caved in the other night. So it's not, he had a good start. Bit of a rough one. Let's sit him down, get him up in the press box, have him eat some popcorn, watch the game from above, and just see how it's kind of supposed to be. And then you put him back in there against Winnipeg. And then he wasn't back in against Winnipeg. It's like, well, I understand like that line scored and you just put up 5. And so you don't really want to mess with it. But if it feels like you are looking for ways to include Rooney in the lineup instead of the other way around. So I just like, I like Huska. I think he's done a really good job with this team. And I think that there is a lot that he has done with this group that has benefited this team greatly. The problem is like that sometimes this sort of a thing is a problem, I guess. Like this has not been as this one has not been handled in the way that I would have. And I think that just hanging on with Rooney a little bit too long here is a bit of a mistake. So I don't understand it. Even if you are, like, the talk is, okay, well, Zari's coming back. And so it is easier to have Rooney be, again, designated popcorn eater if Zary is coming back. But even still, like, I think Kerins played well enough in his first few games that he at least deserved an opportunity to make up for a tough night and have another chance to go out there and kind of make a play. And so I kind of felt like you could have cycled like him, Bishop, and Rooney through, like, just kind of cycle them through. Whichever one's going, you just roll with that one. And the other two, maybe you Kuzmenko starts to fall off a little bit and you put him there or whatever, right? Maybe you try to do it that way. And so I kind of thought you maybe stick with him a little bit longer than you did. So I thought this was a mistake and a very poorly handled situation by Coach Ryan Huska in a stretch where it hasn't really been the case. I think he's done a phenomenal job in maximizing the talent on this team. To Toxic's point, the fourth line does get caved nightly. They are one where I give them the benefit of the doubt because of the energy that they bring, like with Lomberg playing the way that he has. And then anyone who they throw on that line. Like, Rooney is constantly a problem. Lomberg is consistently himself. And then whoever they throw out there, like Sharon Govich has a pretty good time with them when he's out there. Coronado at the beginning of the year, he found that energy and found that work ethic and got going. And I think Kuzmenko has handled things really well as well. So I think there's been a lot of good things happening with that fourth line, even if they haven't really shown up on whatever sort of stat. I went between stat sheet and site and came up with that. But yeah, like Rooney, like you said, Rooney, on the other hand, it feels like he is doing cardio out there. You're right. Like, he is just, the best thing you can say about Rooney on most nights is that he's unnoticeable. The worst thing is that he's really noticeable and it's not great. So that is why, like, maybe if that's going to be the case, then put a kid on there and see what they do. And maybe that is the plan. Maybe it is, you have to take Kerins out because Zary's coming back. So you're putting now Bishop in that spot and Rooney is now the popcorn guy. Rooney is your extra forward that you are working with, and that's what it is. But I just think it's a mistake. And I disagree with this one. So maybe bigger things are ahead, and who knows. But even if Zari is coming back, I think the attachment with Rooney is not something that I fully understand from this particular team. Spy Canuck coming in and saying, let the young guys play, cannot be any worse than Rooney. That's the thing, right? Like, and that has been part of my philosophy with this rebuild the whole time, is you let the kids play and see where it falls, right? And so there are guys, I can understand if you don't want to put Zeri on the fourth line or whoever, right? You need a Rooney there so that you're not just wasting a guy who has a top six potential in a fourth line spot. With all due respect to Kerins and Bishop, that's kind of where they're slotted in future-wise. Right now, maybe Kerins, because he's been healthy, maybe you do view him a little bit higher than that. But if all you're getting from the fourth line is just getting your brains bashed in, but good vibes, well, you can do that with Bishop. You can do that with Kerins, and then maybe you get a little bit more offensive upside. But to the point, it's not going to be worse than what it is right now, so why not try? Why not do that? You're not hurting anything by having Rooney sit up in the press box for 8 games in a row and seeing what Bishop can do, see what Kerins can do, see what all these guys can do. Honestly, like my semi-hot take, we're not going to get to it today because we're already way long on this thing, but my semi-hot take is that they should, like if Pospisil is going to be playing third line minutes anyway, put him at center. Like, just do that. We'll workshop that one another day. But I don't understand this from the Flames right now. It's a rare miss, in my opinion. But we'll see what other news follows this up.